Hey there, bestie. I'm Lori Emi, your What to Read Next podcast host. Join me as we dive into exciting new reads that'll have you reaching for your TBR pile in no time. From group and mysteries to spicy romances, we'll explore it all and help you find your next favorite book. So grab a cup of tea, cozy it up, and let's discover some amazing reads together. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to What to Read Next podcast.
Hi, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So happy to have you here. Tell us a little about yourself.
So I'm Lisa. I'm a romance author. I live in Arizona with my husband and 2 kids, ages 5 and 8. And I've been publishing since 2013. Before that, I was a high school teacher and college instructor. And now I'm doing the writing thing full time.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So you've been writing for almost 10 years. So it's going to be like, I know we're, no, 11.
Yeah, 11. Yeah.
11. I was like, I feel like I'm in 2022. What time?
I know. I actually had to look at that earlier today. It's really funny. I was commenting in an author Facebook group on something and was just saying how I'm actually ahead in my publishing schedule. And I've never have been in my 11-year career. And I looked at the year, 11 years. When did that happen?
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. And so you probably would say the industry has changed dramatically because I joined the industry in some way and so back when first leader in 2016. And I saw the dramatic changes that happened between 2016 to 2020,
Yes.
2024, and it just continues to change. So I'm assuming you were probably run after the 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Kindle Unlimited,
It's actually in before Kindle Unlimited started. That was 2015. And there was KDP Select before then, which was kind of the same idea, but the first iteration of KU came about in 2015. So yeah, I've been there from the beginning. I'm a KU author all the way.
Wow, that's amazing. So what has been some of surprising things you have learned in this journey of being a writer and doing this now full time for more than a decade?
Yeah. So I've been full-time since 2016 when I had my son. Still, that's 8 years, right? That's crazy to think about. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where the time goes, but I think the biggest thing I've learned about being a full-time author and this being my career is that maybe 10% of my day is actually spent writing and you wear all the hats as an indie author. So I'm the publisher, I'm the marketer, I'm the advertiser. So I do all these things. I have to make all these decisions with cover design and, communicating to other people. And I have my PA and I have my TikTok creators and things like that. So it's you're constantly running this business and I'm not a business person. I'm a former English teacher who loves to write books. And so it's just wearing all these different hats and learning all these different things to run a business.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all cool to my dog, just managing. And these people would say, I just spend time reading, and all of a sudden, the reality is that it's so much more work.
Right. It is.
Yeah,
it is. But, I always say this, I love every aspect of this career. I've enjoyed getting to learn the business side of things. And actually, my husband was a business major in college. And so, he has some of that background. So I talked to him about a lot of things. But the one thing that I don't like is editing.
Yeah, we get that.
Everything else I'm good with, but when it comes to editing, it's I got to do this.
Gotta do that. Yeah. Yeah, so you probably love the first, writing the dropping the story, putting it all together, and I was oh no, I gotta actually fix the story.
No, I have to read it.
Read it and over until
100 times.
Oh my gosh. So you tend to write a lot of sports romances. I'd say that's kind of your bread and butter. So where do the readers can get started within your series? Because you have multiple series, multiple universes.
I do. So Home Game is the first sports romance I ever published. And it was actually my 30th book back in 2021 was when I published it. And it's the kickoff of my entire Vegas Aces universe. And so all of the books that I've written since then are related to that team in some way. But now we have a new team, the San Diego Storm, and it is obviously a San Diego team and it's brand new. It came out actually in Wedding the Wide Receiver, which just released a couple weeks ago and 2 weeks ago today, actually. And so it's my new team. And like the Vegas Aces is just like where I started with football. And then we have a spin-off baseball team as well. So if you're into baseball romance, there's that one's Curveball is where you start with that. But what I used to do is when I first started was I did 5-book series. So the home game, the series that starts with home game, first Vegas Aces series follows the same couple through 5 books. And each book ends in a cliffhanger. It is available in a box set for those of you who can't stand that. So it's available in one volume and it's all in Kindle Unlimited too. So that series is Vegas Aces. So it starts with home game. So that's where I recommend starting. However, if you like standalones, I just started publishing the Nash Brothers series, which the first book is Dating the Defensive Back, and that's a standalone. So it's like the whole story told in one volume instead of the 5-book series, just to try something different. Because I actually have 8 5-book series out now, which sounds like this crazy world, right? To have all these books. I have 40 books in that series, but they're all like little standalone series. So you don't have to read. You can start anywhere, you want to. So really, I'd recommend if you like standalone, start with Dating the Defensive Back. And if you like series, then start with Home Game.
And then let's head back from your old backlist because you
Yeah.
have more books. You have
Even more.
books. Where can the readers can get started? Like which ones do you recommend for them to,
To start with?
Once you're like, okay, I need a book with sports. Give me something else.
Okay. Before I wrote sports, I was rockstar romance, actually. And that's actually not even where I got my beginning. My first 6 books I unpublished because I felt like they didn't represent my brand anymore, which feels like so much work now. But I have 73 books out at this point. So I know I'll keep you busy for a while, right? Except for those first 6. But I would recommend starting the Rockstar World starts with A Little Like Destiny. And that is a trilogy. And it's a love triangle. So I know a lot of people are very like, no love triangles. So if you don't like love triangles, don't start there. But that's kind of where my rock star started, was A Little Like Destiny. And it's a love triangle between this English teacher, because, write what you know, and a rock star who she just had the one night stand with. And then she meets this other guy and starts dating him. And he's this big CEO. Well, he turns out to be the rock star's brother. So it's a love triangle with brothers. So that's a fun one. And then if you prefer standalones, because that's a trilogy with cliffhangers. If you prefer standalones, I have My Favorite Band series. So it's the MSB series. And that starts with Take My Heart. And I actually just got illustrated covers for those. So I'm re-releasing those and a little bit of a fresh edit on some of them too. So that start with Take My Heart. That's also available in a box set on KU. So that's just called My Favorite Band, the complete series. So that's a fun one. It's each book is a standalone on a different member of the band.
How do you write it so much? Like what's schedule? Like what does it look like for you? Is it every day the same, or is it some structure? Is it just like, some discipline and showing up, or
yeah, a little bit of that.
Yeah, you're 10% it's writing and the rest is just managing the business,
So I've always had a goal to write 2,000 words a day. Doesn't always happen, especially on weekends. I've got 2 kids, 5, like I told you before, 5 and 8. So they keep me really busy, especially on weekends. But I also have a husband who's very supportive of this career, and he's really good at like inventing time for me to work. So, he'll take the kids to the park for an hour and give me a Saturday afternoon to get something done and things like that. So like we work really well together to invent time for that. But so my writing goal is 2,000 words a day, but I'm actually a really fast writer and I've started doing dictation. So I'll take a walk around to the kids go to bed and dictate. And that's been a game changer for me because I can write like twice as many words in the same amount of time, especially if I can multitask. Like I'm a big multitasker. So if I can take a walk and get a little exercise while I'm writing because I'm dictating, then that makes it go even faster. So that's been working out really well for me. Yeah, I don't know. So just for me, it's really like having that goal and trying to hit that goal every day of getting at least 2,000 words.
So how does dictating work? Is it just sending yourself like long podcast episodes, like voice memos to yourself and then having it transcribe it? Or
So right, absolutely. Yeah, I have an app called the Dictate app. I have an iPhone, so it's the Dictate app. And so I've been using that for probably a year and a half or so. And like you just hit record and your screen has to be on, but then you can just talk to it and it'll transcribe your words as you're talking. So I don't do a lot of punctuation when I'm dictating. I go back through and add that in after the fact. So like I have to clean it up after I do that, but it also records your voice. So if you miss a word or it doesn't translate it correctly or transcribe it correctly, you can go back and listen to that spot. But I live in Arizona where it's like 115 outside, like on a normal day. And I've noticed if I'm walking and my phone starts getting hot, it'll skip. Like it won't pick up everything I'm saying. So I started, this is more recent, that same app has a transcribe feature. So I've started just doing voice recordings on my phone and then uploading it to the Dictate app and it'll transcribe it for me. So that's been working out really well for me. And I've noticed too, like, if I can like fold laundry and dictate or, like do stuff around the house and dictate, but I can't, for some reason, I'm really weird like this. I can't dictate in the house if my husband's home and he works from home too. So if he's like out doing a project in the field, whatever, he's not at home, I can get all kinds of stuff done. I'm like cleaning the house and getting 2,000 words and whatever. But if he's home, it's harder. So I'll usually walk outside and do it. I don't know. I just can't like have somebody listening to me while they're doing it.
I understand. So I taught to send voice messages or like mini podcast episodes to my friends. I have like close people friends who will send each other like 10 to 15-minute messages. And I live by myself. So I just go on my own walk and I just like do my own thing and all stuff. But when I'm traveling and I'm actually at home with my family, I cannot do this. I'm like, I felt so weird. First of all, my family's in Puerto Rico, so we speak Spanish. So I'm speaking English and like, I'm like, there's something to be said about like having an audience. Like, even though you're sending it to someone, like even to my friend, like a voice message, it's still like, I don't want audience to be like, if there's an outside audience to understand like, what is happening.
Right. Yeah, totally. You get it.
I get it. So, awesome. So as part of the wedding, the wide receiver, it's hangover in Vegas marriage. We're not sure what just happened. And those are a little bit forbidden because he was engaged to her sister's guy, even though she was like not the right fit. We gotta be honest. It was not the right fit. What if the other would have put Joseph?
So I actually have a prequel story, and I don't know. I think I put it up on my website, but it was in a little anthology where it's called The Night We Met, and it's when Grace meets Spencer, and it's supposed to be like her cousins introducing the two of them, but then her sister Amelia like swoops in and steals him, because that's what Amelia does, and she's very selfish, and we learned that very early on in Wedding the Wide Receiver. And so Grace kind of always had this crush on him, but obviously didn't act on it because he was dating her sister and then got engaged to her sister. Well, when Wedding the Wide Receiver starts, he's breaking up with her sister. And so like he's really, well, actually when it starts, it's like the morning after the wedding. And then, it's like neither of them knows what happened. They're totally hungover. And so then it backtracks in time and we back up and learn a little bit about the history between them and, how they met and stuff. And it leads up to the wedding. Then it's from her point of view. So the first chapter is his point of view. I think it's chapter 16 is her point of view, same morning when they wake up and don't know what's going on and stuff. And so it was really kind of fun with that dynamic of the little bit of forbidden where she's, getting involved with her sister's ex, but it's like they've become really good friends over the last couple of years that they've known each other. So there's something there for them already, like a strong base for them already. And then she finds out there's this secret clause in her grandma's will that says whoever's married first for a year, which I mean, we all know is like not realistic, right? People don't do that, but it's fiction. Like we go with it because that makes it fun, right? So whoever gets married first and stays married for a year will inherit the family vineyard. And this is like Grace's lifelong dream is to run this vineyard. And so when she finds out how horribly Amelia was treating Spencer, she flies out to Vegas to see him and tell him what she knows and say, hey, I got a plan for how we can get revenge on my sister. And they get drunk, they have an allergic reaction, one thing leads to another, and they wind up married. So
what else do you ask for?
I know.
Vegas, it is perfect.
Well, thank you. It's so fun. And I mean, Vegas Aces, obviously I'm a fan of Vegas. Like I write a lot of stuff in Vegas, but it's just like, it's like a fun little fantasy land, right, to write about too. So.
And I mean, so what can we expect after Wedding Wide Receiver from this fall? Like which books are on the queue now that you're a
Yes. So up next is, and it's already done and actually being recorded right now in audio, is Tempting the Tight End, which is the fourth Nash brother, actually, but the third book in the Nash brother series. And that's Asher. He's the youngest brother, and he's kind of our wild card. Like, we don't know. So Spencer from Wedding the Wide Receiver is like the logical, responsible, serious one, the one you would never think is going to go to Vegas and get married drunk, right? That's his story. But the next one is Asher, and he's the one you would expect that from. And he's, but not how he is. So his story is a coach's daughter, which has been very confusing for people because the head coach of his team is his older brother. So people are like, well, wait a minute, how can he hook up with the coach's daughter? They get a new offensive coordinator, and it's that man's daughter who he has a little one night stand with, doesn't know who she is. And when they meet again, it's under the circumstances where he finds out who she is. And then that's also a forbidden one because you don't mess with your coach's daughter, right?
Yeah.
But he falls fast and he falls hard. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, it's super exciting. And then we got the San Diego Stars too. That's like the next year, like the next.
Yeah, that'll be coming next after. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't announced it yet, but I have a surprise Christmas book coming that is a spinoff with some characters people have been asking for from Dating the Defensive Back. So I'm not going to say who, but you'll get to see some characters in that one. So that's coming in December. Oh, Tempting the Tight End is October 3rd. And then my Christmas book will be December 2nd.
Perfect. So so you're going to keep us busy.
Yes.
For the next couple of years. Just
for sure.
It's perfect.
For sure. And well, then the one I'm writing now is coming in March. And then the one after that's coming next June. So I already have half the year planned for next year.
There we go. Oh, amazing. Lisa, it's multiple by online.
Yeah. authorlisasuzanne.com is my website. And I try to keep that up to date with all the latest news and events I'm attending and things like that. My Facebook reader group is just Team LS, Lisa Suzanne's reader group. I'm probably most active in there. And also my newsletter. I send that once a week. All the links for all those places are on my website too.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa, for being the show.
Yes, this was so fun.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of the What to Read Next podcast. If you enjoy our bookish conversations and want more recommendations, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, head on over to the What to Read Next blog for a list of books mentioned in today's show. Happy reading!